Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. There was some alarming news on the opening day of the Glasgow Climate Summit. As you can see, the news got the President of the United States extremely agitated. It was reported that climate change is causing soaring temperatures in Jacobabad, Pakistan. This year, global warming brought the temperature there up to an incredible 125 degrees. That sounds almost unlivable, and the climate of Jacobabad has always been that way. In 1906, it was reported that they often record temperatures of 125 degrees Fahrenheit, the same temperature as this year. The one mail train a day carried a coffin in the hot weather season for the use of passengers. In other words, the climate there hasn't changed over the last 115 years. According to our leading climate experts at NASA, 1906 was one of the coldest years on record. Let's take a look at what else was going on in the world during NASA's record cold year of 1906. Marble Bar, West Australia averaged 107 degrees over a 5-month period. Mildura reached 124 degrees, the hottest temperature ever recorded in Victoria. That was within 1 degree of the Pakistan temperature, which COP-26 was hysterical about today. According to the Australian Bureau of Meteorology, January 1906 was an extraordinarily hot month. January 23, 1906 is known as Black Tuesday because almost the entire state of Victoria was on fire. A quick reminder that NASA says this was one of the coldest years on record. Another notable event from 1906 is that San Francisco burned to the ground. Meanwhile, back in Australia, bushfires were not only raging in Victoria but also in New South Wales. In 1906, it was reported that the Ross Ice Shelf in Antarctica had retreated some 30 miles. Experts said that the world was drying up and the human race may die of thirst. On October 21, 1906, a hurricane and tidal wave hit the Florida Keys and drowned more than 1,000 people. Islands swallowed by the sea. It was also reported in 1906 that glaciers were retreating all over the world. And this was, of course, during one of NASA's coldest years on record. But the most interesting climate story from 1906 came from a Harvard professor named Robert DeCourcy Ward. He wrote a book explaining why people always believe that the climate is changing. It's because they have short and defective memories. He said, if we trusted our memories less, we would not fall into such errors. 115 years later, nothing has changed. Experts in Glasgow think 125 degrees in Pakistan is evidence of global warming. Had they bothered to do any actual research, they would have known that 125 degrees there is their normal weather and has been that way for at least 115 years. The problem the human race faces isn't climate change, it's ignorance and superstition. Toto apologizes for disturbing the president's sleep. You can visit Toto, Kyrie, and Caesar on the web at RealClimateScience.com.